Have you ever wondered if that old coin sitting in your drawer could actually make you rich overnight? Well, get ready, because some ordinary-looking US coins have shocked collectors by being worth thousands, even millions of dollars. From rare minting errors to secret varieties that most people overlook. Today we're revealing the most valuable US coins that could change your life in an instant. So check your pockets, because you might be holding a hidden treasure right now. Before we dive in, remember, the value of a coin isn't just about its age. It's about rarity, mint marks, and those secret errors that make certain coins one in a million. Let's start with some of the most jaw-dropping examples that turned everyday people into overnight millionaires. Now we will talk about one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in all of American history, the 1975 No S Proof Roosevelt dime. This tiny 10-cent coin, smaller than your thumbnail, has stunned the world with its unbelievable value and rarity. At first glance, it looks just like an ordinary dime that you might find in your change. But what makes this coin truly extraordinary is a tiny detail that's missing. The letter S, that one small missing mint mark, has turned this dime into a treasure worth nearly $500,000. The story begins in 1975. At the San Francisco Mint, every proof coin that year was supposed to bear the S mint mark under the date, a sign that it was specially struck for collectors. Proof coins are known for their mirror-like finish, carefully made with polished dies to achieve perfection. But somehow, a handful of these dimes were minted without the S mark, an error that should have been impossible. Whether it was a mistake during die preparation or a moment of oversight in the minting process, no one knows for sure. What we do know is that only a few of these coins escaped into the world, hidden inside proof sets that looked completely normal. For years, no one even realized this mistake existed. Then one day, a sharp-eyed collector opened a 1995 proof set and noticed something strange. There was no S below the date on his dime. The discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. The US Mint confirmed the error, and suddenly, the coin became a legend. To this day, only 2 examples of the 1975 No S Proof Roosevelt dime have ever been found. Yes, just 2 known in the entire world. That makes it rarer than most gold or silver treasures ever minted. When one of these coins appeared at auction, collectors from across the globe battled to own it. The final selling price? A jaw-dropping $456,000 for a dime originally worth 10 cents. It was one of those unbelievable moments in coin history that left people speechless. A simple minting error had created a masterpiece of rarity. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its symbolism. The Roosevelt dime was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the man who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. He founded the March of Dimes, helping fight polio, so it's fitting that his face appears on this coin. Yet decades later, one tiny mistake turned his tribute coin into one of the most sought-after collectibles in US history. So, if you ever come across a 1975 Roosevelt dime, don't ignore it. Take a closer look under the date. If you don't see that tiny S mint mark, you could be holding one of the rarest coins on Earth. It's a reminder that even the smallest object can hold the biggest surprise, and sometimes the most ordinary-looking dime can make you a millionaire overnight. Now we will talk about one of the most legendary and valuable coins in American history, the 1932 D Washington quarter. This coin is not just rare. It's a piece of history that marks the very beginning of the Washington Quarter series. It was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birth anniversary of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was meant to be temporary, but it became so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently, and it's still being produced today, almost a century later. But among all the Washington quarters ever minted, the 1932 D stands out as one of the most valuable. Why? Because of its extremely low mintage. In that year, the Denver Mint produced only 436 and 800 coins, making it one of the smallest mintages in the entire Washington Quarter series. To put that into perspective, modern quarters are produced in the hundreds of millions each year, so finding one from 1932 D in good condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most of these coins went into circulation, used in everyday transactions, and very few were preserved by collectors. That's what makes high-grade examples incredibly rare today. The 1932 D Washington quarter in average circulated condition can still be worth $500 to $2,000, but if you happen to own one in uncirculated or mint state, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Graded examples in MS-65 or MS-66 condition have sold for over $80,000, and a few in nearly perfect MS-67 condition have fetched close to $500,000 at auction. To identify this coin, look carefully at the reverse side, just below the eagle. You'll see a small D mint mark, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. The coin is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing about 625 grams. Its silver composition already gives it intrinsic value, but its rarity and historical significance are what make collectors pay astonishing amounts for it. Many experts consider the 1932 D quarter the holy grail of Washington quarters because it represents the start of an era, a coin that carries both historical symbolism and financial worth. It's also one of the most counterfeited quarters out there, as people sometimes try to add a fake D mint mark to a regular 1932 Philadelphia quarter. So, if you think you have one, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional grading service before celebrating. Stories of people finding this rare coin in old collections, inherited boxes, or forgotten jars keep surfacing even today. Imagine finding a simple 25-cent coin and realizing it's worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the magic of the 1932 Washington quarter. It's a reminder that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or gemstones. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, right in the palm of your hand. Now we will talk about the #1 most valuable Lincoln penny ever discovered, the 1944 steel Lincoln cent. This coin is the holy grail of modern U.S. pennies, a legendary error so rare that only a handful exist in the entire world. The 1944 steel penny is not just a collector's dream. It's a piece of history born from the confusion and chaos of World War II. To understand how this coin came to be, we need to go back to 1943. During that year, as you already know, the U.S. Mint used steel instead of copper to make pennies so that copper could be reserved for the war effort. Then, in 1944, after the war demand for copper decreased, the mint switched back to using copper and shell-casing brass to produce the new pennies. However, in a rare twist of fate, a few leftover steel planchets from the 1943 batch were mistakenly fed into the presses at the beginning of 1944. As a result, a tiny number of 1944 Lincoln cents were struck on steel instead of copper, and the error went completely unnoticed at the time. These accidental steel cents made their way into circulation, blending in with millions of normal 1944 copper pennies. For decades, they remained hidden in plain sight, until a few sharp-eyed collectors began discovering them. The moment the first 1944 steel penny surfaced, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Experts immediately recognized how extraordinary this error was. Imagine, a coin that should have never existed, created purely by accident, and surviving against all odds. Today, it's believed that only 30 to 40 genuine examples of the 1944 steel penny exist across all three mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each one is a priceless relic, commanding enormous attention and astronomical prices whenever one appears at auction. Depending on condition and mint mark, these coins have sold for between $400,000 and $2 million. In 2021, one high-grade 1944 steel cent struck at the Denver Mint sold for a jaw-dropping $175 million, setting records and confirming its place as the most valuable Lincoln penny ever known. The story behind this coin is both thrilling and symbolic. It reminds us that even the smallest oversight can produce something truly extraordinary. During wartime, with production lines running around the clock and metal supplies constantly shifting, mistakes were bound to happen. But this mistake created one of the most iconic coins in American history. Collectors dream of finding one in a forgotten coin jar or an old family collection. Every time a 1944 penny shines a bit differently, there's hope that it might be the legendary steel cent. These coins have become symbols of luck, mystery, and discovery. Tiny survivors from an era when the nation was fighting for its future. The 1944 steel Lincoln cent isn't just the most valuable penny, it's a reminder that history can hide in the smallest places. A single cent, created by accident, that went on to become worth millions. Now we will talk about one of the most valuable and fascinating Jefferson nickels ever discovered, the 1939 doubled Monticello nickel. At first glance, this coin looks completely normal, just another old nickel from your change. But when collectors took a closer look, they found something extraordinary hidden within its design. This coin features one of the most striking double die errors in the entire Jefferson Nickel series. If you look closely at the reverse side, you'll notice a strong doubling on the words Monticello and 5 cents. This doubling wasn't intentional. It happened due to a rare minting mistake at the Philadelphia Mint in the 39. when the die used to strike the coin accidentally imprinted the design twice, slightly misaligned. Because this error was caught early, very few of these coins were ever released into circulation, making them incredibly scarce today. Most of the 1939 nickels look normal, so collectors must carefully inspect their coins under magnification to identify the double details, a small difference that could be worth a huge amount of money. What makes this coin even more special is that it comes from the first years of the Jefferson Nickel series, which began in 1938. That historical connection adds an extra layer of value and fascination for coin enthusiasts. Depending on its condition and clarity of the doubling, the 1939 doubled Monticello nickel can fetch anywhere from $500 to more than $25,000 at auction. In mint state grades, collectors are willing to pay even higher premiums, especially for coins with clean surfaces and sharp strikes. So, the next time you come across a 1939 Jefferson nickel, don't overlook it. Take a close look at those small letters on the back, because that tiny doubling could mean the difference between 5 cents and 5 figures. Now we will talk about the Charker II most valuable Lincoln penny, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. This coin is not just rare, it's the very beginning of a legacy. The 1909 SVDB penny marks the birth of the Lincoln cent series, a design that has been part of American history for over a century. When it was first released, it created excitement, controversy, and eventually, one of the greatest coin-collecting treasures ever known. In 1909, the U.S. Mint decided to replace the old Indian head cent with a brand new design featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln to celebrate his 100th birthday. The artist behind this design was Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, were placed at the bottom of the reverse side of the coin. However, just weeks after release, people began to criticize the large size of those initials, saying they looked too prominent. The Mint responded quickly and ordered that Brenner's initials be removed immediately. As a result, only a small number of these coins with the initials VDB were struck, mostly at the San Francisco Mint. The total mintage was only 484,000 coins, making it one of the lowest production runs in the entire Lincoln cent series. To put that in perspective, millions of regular pennies were made that same year, but fewer than 500,000 bore the VDB initials from the San Francisco Mint, making this coin instantly rare and highly desirable among collectors. When word spread that the Mint had stopped producing the VDB version, people rushed to banks and stores to find them. Collectors hoarded as many as they could, knowing these coins would become valuable. Over the decades, the 1909 SVDB penny has only grown in fame and value, becoming a symbol of the golden age of coin collecting. In terms of price, this small copper coin has achieved enormous worth. In circulated condition, it can sell for several $1,000s, but in mint state condition, especially those with strong red luster and perfect surfaces, the value can soar to over $100,000, and in some cases even higher at top-tier auctions. For many collectors, owning a 1909 SVDB penny is a dream come true, a badge of honor that represents the start of modern U.S. coinage history. But what truly makes this coin special is its story. It's not just about rarity, it's about art, pride, and a moment in time when America was honoring one of its greatest presidents. The controversy over the initials, VDB, turned an ordinary coin into a historical artifact. Brenner's design of Lincoln was admired for its realism and dignity, and despite the removal of his initials, his work stood the test of time. The Lincoln penny remains one of the most enduring symbols of American currency, and it all began with this rare 1909 SVDB cent. So, the next time you hold a 1909 penny, you might just be holding one of the most valuable and beloved pennies ever made in U.S. history. So, friends, these were some of the rarest U.S. coins, from the 1975 No S-proof dime to the 1909 wheat penny, that can turn ordinary collectors into millionaires overnight. Each coin holds a hidden story, a piece of American history, and a fortune waiting to be discovered. So check your change, look closely at your old coins, and who knows, your next find might just make you rich overnight.